Troubled days for Mike Ditka, who definitely has dissension on this team. Like everybody else in the Windy City is wondering what's gone wrong with this team.
Today, the Chicago Bears against the Los Angeles Rams.
Johnny, this is a very special afternoon for the Chicago Bears, and indeed an historic one.
It certainly is, Tim. This is the first game the Chicago Bears have ever played without Papa Bear George Halas, who died, as you know, earlier this week at the age of 88. Coach Mike Ditka says he doesn't want to dedicate just this one game to Papa Bear, but the entire rest of the season, and he hopes that the team is going to play in the mold of the old George Halas teams. His first decision today, he's going to start Jim McMahon at quarterback, so the quarterback derby is still on.
Well, he kept that secret all week, made a big deal out of it. It will be McMahon.
But you know, there's a guy on this other sidelines named Walter Payton who has a history of responding. Whenever he comes up against another running back who's supposed to be great, he says, I'm going to have a good game. So let's see what Walter Payton does today against Eric Dickerson. Should be a good matchup. Tim?
Well, the Los Angeles Rams are going to receive the football, the opening kickoff, and the Bears will defend to our right, wearing white uniforms today, and the Rams to our left. On a brilliant sunny afternoon in California, a little gray and foggy this morning, and turned out beautifully for the game this afternoon. Bob Thomas will kick it off. The deep man for the Rams will be Barry Redden, number 30, and number 31, Robert Alexander. And of course, Redden ever dangerous as a return man, and also at running back, where he spells Eric Dickerson, the second-year man from Richmond, their number 1 choice in 1982. And you can see on the shoulder of the Bears today a special commemorative patch for George Stanley Halas, the Papa Bear, who will certainly be missed throughout the National Football League, and what a mark he has left on the game of professional football. Thomas kicks it to the 5-yard line, down at the 4, and picked up at the 1 by Redden, who's going to bring it up, and that was a mistake. He is hit almost immediately by Calvin Thomas, number 33, and got only to the 9-yard line, the 14-yard line. And so the Rams will bring out Ferragamo at quarterback, Eric Dickerson, Mike Gooman is what they call the U-back here, George Farmer, and Preston Denard are the starting wide receivers. Bill Bain for the injured Irv Pankey continues at left tackle. Hill, Smith, Hara, and Slater, a veteran offensive line with Mike Barber, the tight end, nursing a hamstring, number 86. Vince Ferragamo passing at 62.5% this year with 14 touchdowns, but 17 interceptions. First down, just inside the 15-yard line of the Los Angeles Rams. Dickerson is met behind the line of scrimmage and dropped for a loss by Otis Wilson and Al Harris. And Al Harris is playing at right linebacker today, number 90. He has had some linebacker experience before, but with the injury to Dan Raines, who is out of action today, you'll see that Hartenstein, Osborne, McMichael for the injured Dan Hampton, rookie Tyrone Keys in Harris's spot, and then Harris with Singletary and Wilson in the linebacker position. A scrambled secondary, the 4th free safety to play in this position for the Bears, Dave Dewerson, for the injured Gary Fensick. And of course, Jeff Fisher also hurt. Last week, Terry Schmidt played there. Schmidt will be the nickelback today. Second down and 11. And again, the Bears swarming in aggressively to drop Dickerson. Hartenstein and Todd Bell drop him for yet another loss. And Johnny Morris, Al Harris said yesterday, we've got to be aggressive early. We got to show them we can play Bears-style defense.
And you can see, watch Todd Bell, number 25. It goes by Ken Hill, just gets in through the gap there and makes the tackle before it gets started. So Todd Bell, 25, beat a lineman there to make that tackle.
David Lewis has come in at linebacker, and he'll be blitzing on this 3rd and 9. Out of the shotgun. They give it to Payton, who's going to throw. Back to McMahon. McMahon is open. And there are Bears fans in the house.
Walter Payton is now 3 for 4 with 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns. Can you believe that? As a passer this year, the number 1 rated passer in the NFL is Walter Payton. And I'll tell you, if Jim McMahon had dropped this pass, he'd have never lived it down. Plenty of activity. He has to throw all the way back, way off balance, and just let him perfectly. And there it is. McMahon cradled it in, and no spike. No spike from Jim McMahon, but they get the touchdown. Not the way you expect it, but they got it.
Bob Thomas in for the point after. A little razzle-dazzle and 2 big plays in that half by the Bears. And they're back in the football game. Thomas with a point after and 5:27 still remaining in the third quarter. Walter Payton, his third touchdown pass of the season to Jim McMahon. Some fun finally.
Well, you got to remember, he was not a T formation quarterback on that play, so a quarterback is eligible in that situation because technically he's not a quarterback, and they just forgot all about him once he handed off to Payton, and Payton went all the way over to the sidelines and threw the ball back. Jim McMahon was something to smile about.
Thomas will kick it off. High, short kickoff comes down at the 20, takes a Bears bounce to the 2-yard line. It is Rams' ball, but just barely. The Bears nearly had possession, but they could not get a hold of that loose ball. Kelvin Atkins, number 51, reserve linebacker, made a good try, but the ball went out of bounds, and the Rams retained possession.
Well, it was one of those passes you can't, one of those kicks you can't let a kickoff drop like that if possible. Now you'll see Atkins 51 comes on it right here after it's fumbled, and he has to recover before it gets out of bounds, and he's just a little bit late. So it is the Rams' ball, but they have terrible field position.
You see that Payton to McMahon touchdown play.
Okay, McMahon out of the shotgun. He hands off. Watch McMahon. He's just watching the play, and then he delays taking off. Plenty of support out here, and nonchalant. McMahon is very casual as he catches that football. He says, I got it, just takes it in.
Well, they fooled everybody, and it's something that they've worked on. Waited for the right opportunity, and there it came. And Payton, look at that. 3 of 4 passing. It's been basically a defensive battle, but we've seen each team have long, sustained drives in this fourth quarter. Sully is in at nickelback. Meissner is in up front. Play action. Rolling is McMahon. He can get in. He does. Touchdown. Noah Jackson leading the blocking, and Jim McMahon has reduced the margin. His second touchdown of the game. He caught one from Walter Payton, and he ran this one in.
How many quarterbacks in the game will catch one and run for one in a football game as McMahon follows Noah Jackson, 65, out there, follows his blocker, cuts up the field, and takes it in for the touchdown. And one thing the Bears are blessed with is 2 quarterbacks that can run well. Evans and McMahon.
I like the way he directed Noah Jackson's block there. He just kind of gave him a little whack on the back and said, there he is. I'll slip in behind you. Thomas for the point after. Rams moved. The point after is good. Guy holding the marker didn't help him. He pulled away. Payton out the right side. He's got running room. Payton cut by Johnny Johnson, but he has another Bears first down at the 32-yard line. Johnny Johnson made what turned out to be a saving tackle on Walter, who was just getting up to full speed. A 14-yard gain.
So now he is well over 11,000 yards for his career. And you knew this was going to be okay when number 26, Matt Suey, got to the outside. Anytime you can get the up back to the outside and around the horn, you know that the running back is going to make some big yardage. So
the applause is for the sign indicating that statistic. And look at this. A hand also from referee Chuck Herberling and the crowd.
So he's not too far behind Jimmy Brown. He now ranks 4th on the all-time list, but he's only in his 9th year. Jimmy Brown's record, of course, is 12,312. Walter Payton now over 11,000, so he's only 1,200 yards away from the all-time record.